The first vote to elect a new Speaker of the House failed today. The leading Republican is Ohio Representative Jim Jordan. No more votes are expected today.
WGN political analyst Paul Lisnek is here. Thanks for joining us.
Hey guys,
on this.
Numbers worse than Jim Jordan thought they were going to be, by the way, down 20.
Yeah, and we should say that Kevin McCarthy, it took 15 votes to get him in as Speaker a long time ago. So they can keep going until it finally gets the 217 needed,
well,
right?
They've got to get a speaker. They were actually supposed to have the next vote right now while we're sitting here.
Why did they decide to take a recess?
Because he doesn't have the votes. He was short 20.
So he's got to do a lot of schmoozing.
Yeah, it's exactly what he's doing, and who knows what promises he was making. Remember what Kevin McCarthy had to promise all sorts of things, so now it's tomorrow at 10 a.m., our time.
But the question is, we saw what happened when Kevin McCarthy had to promise everything to get the job, including the ability to have one guy.
That's right.
Pretty much shot himself in the foot.
So hasn't Jim Jordan and his team learned that lesson?
Well, you would think, but I think Jordan's issues are a little bit different than McCarthy, because McCarthy, at least on some level, is kind of he can be a player that Biden and others were able to work with. Jim Jordan steps in because, people are blaming the Democrats for this and, why aren't they giving him a chance? Well, Jim Jordan is the one who said we won't impeach Biden unless there's a vote. And he never took the vote. He just proceeded with that. He struck a deal on the budget and then he, pulled back from that. The bottom line is, for the Democrats' point of view, is why would we support this guy? If the Republicans want somebody to get some Democratic support to meet the need of right now probably 4 or 5 that will never go for Jordan, they're going to really have to find somebody much more moderate, and that's not in the cards right now.
Well, yeah, that was my question. He's an election denier from 2016. He's done a lot of other things. They have said he's not a unifier, right. And Republicans right now are trying to unify the party. So why pick Jim Jordan, and then they picked someone else the other day who a lot of the Republicans didn't even know who he was?
Well, it's playing more to the MAGA base. That's what they're doing. And in fact, in one of their conferences, he was asked by Ken Buck, who's a very conservative Republican, are you willing to admit that the 2020 election wasn't stolen? And Jordan wouldn't answer that question. Keep in mind as well that Jim Jordan wouldn't respond to the subpoenas that he got. So all the things he's doing is for moderate Republicans, it's uncomfortable for them. And you have Republicans who won in Biden districts who are uncomfortable stepping in that direction.
You had a Republican congressman from Florida say today that he wouldn't support Jordan because he didn't want to support a coup. So it matters, at least at this particular moment. But these 20 Republicans are going to be under incredible pressure. What levers does Jim Jordan have to pull here? So
as opposed to the carrots that you would think Jim Jordan will offer, though he may very well do, I think this is more about the stick, which is to say, there will be threats. Look, remember, Jim Jordan is the Trump-chosen guy. So if they go after Republicans who aren't supporting him and basically say, you know what's going to happen, if you don't vote for Jordan, Trump is going to come after you, you're going to get primaried, and you're in trouble. And all most Congress people care about is their own job. And so that is probably going to work to get several people over. There's many predictions are that he'll bring that number down from 20 tomorrow morning, although there was one Republican congressman who said, no, it's actually going to get worse tomorrow for him. So the bottom line is nobody really knows what direction it's going to go, but it's an uphill battle, and the perfect evidence of that is there's no second vote tonight. If he were to get this speakership, how would that change the nature of the job? Because he's kind of a different kind of guy, right? Well, some Republicans are saying that he's different now from what he was. He's a good guy now. He sees things, but look, he's never passed any legislation at all his years in Congress. So, and I'm not going to judge that except to say, if you're going to be Speaker, you've got to be the negotiator, the deal maker. How are you going to sit with the President of the United States, who you believe should be impeached and who you're going after and all that, and strike a deal? Now, the truth is, I think Biden has the ability to sort of look beyond the politics of it all. There's a job to do. There's fewer than 30 days to get a budget deal to be passed. Something's got to happen. But the bottom line is, I think that's why you're seeing the resistance to Jim Jordan from people who just said he's just not the guy who can strike these deals and make it happen. His history doesn't suggest that he can.
All righty. Paul Lisnek, thank you. Always appreciate your perspective.